or maybe you were exceptional at 13, 14 years old, but then you haven't really gotten bigger, stronger, better. You did more intellectual, more, you don't have more of a brain. Like your hockey hasn't evolved. You've
Right.
stagnated.
So this is exactly kind of what I want to go into and how these things can affect uh, just the different trajectories. Because once you understand a little bit about what's going on,
Yeah.
it's
You can
easier
be
to.
very helpful.
As I was just gonna say, it can be really really helpful, not just for you as a player, but as a parent trying to help and be supportive,
Scout,
right?
coach, everything.
It's like because some people don't realize like I have a million examples, and so do you, of the guy that just developed early, and they're just better because they have physical traits that are just developed, right? Maybe they're fast first, they're strong first, they can hit first, they can shoot the puck hard, but all of those things, everyone has that once you're 16 and up. Like everyone's big enough, everyone's strong enough, everyone can shoot the puck well enough, everybody can stick handle, everyone can skate. All of those things even out once you're into junior and beyond college and pro, right? So the difference makers become other things that aren't just the physical traits, right? Then you obviously get the exceptions of like the huge guy that even as a adult, they're just much bigger or they're much stronger, whatever. You get the genetic freaks or the guys that are just faster and those kinds of things. But a lot of the differences that you might not notice at the youth level come down to just that. This puberty. This is what's going on right now, So if you want, I don't know if you have any other like opening things you want to say,
I do.
or you want to go. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, I do. I wanted to make this like kind of clear because based on the comments, like I wanted to say, like when this came out, it just started going like people are touching on it, like on our podcast from it wasn't about puberty, but we touched on it, and this was like from 10 or 15 episodes ago, and so it's like it's not recent, but we saw the comments and we wanted to touch on it again. But what I noticed with a lot of the comments is and this is what I want to make clear right away is a lot of people are looking for like, yeah, what can we do about this? Should we take the age groups and mix it up? It's like, so it's like people take it as it's like an unfair thing, but it's not good or bad. It's how you deal with this, or how you your attitude and how you work around it or work through it. It's not about making a fair system because here's the thing, right? Like so, my kid, like there's a few kids actually in Guelph. There's quite a few late birthday guys, so obviously it doesn't hurt, right? Um, but so if those guys played, if they're December babies, okay. So if we say, well, we should maybe move it to June. Well, now they're the older guys. So is that better or worse, right? Do we mix age groups or like they can be very convoluted? I mean, I think the world does the best they can. So then the next thing that people would say is like it's very dangerous, and I would say to a degree it can be, but to the other degree it's almost your advantage to be the late bloomer. Is that
Yeah.
controversial?
Well, no. I want to highlight that because that's such a good point. Like, because I remember a lot of those comments were that like it's unfair, change
Yeah.
this, whatever.
You know what I was saying, right?
Yeah.
You read
And
that.
that's
Yeah.
why I want to clarify because we've seen both sides. We see the guys that are like they develop early and they just stay good, and they got an early advantage because they developed. Yeah, they because they got that early advantage. Maybe their confidence goes through the roof. Maybe then nobody can catch them because they got that early boost, right? We've seen the exact opposite, where you get the guy that got the early boost, he was much better, and then just falls off a cliff when they're 15,
That's
right?
why I laugh when guys get college commitments early when they used to get those. Like, how do you project a kid that's 13, 14 years old and you're going to be a college player, and all of a sudden at 17, 18, when it's time to go, they go, no, no. It's like you were good when you were like, or you stood out more, or maybe you were exceptional at 13, 14 years old, but then you haven't really gotten bigger, stronger, better. You did more intellectual, more, you don't have more of a brain. Like your hockey hasn't evolved. You've
Right.
stagnated.
Absolutely. And
So
so
your
that's
best years are at 16.
yeah, and that's a great point. And then we get opposites, right? We get the kid that doesn't hit puberty early, so he's behind and stays behind and never catches up. And then you get the kid that was a late bloomer, gets that little feisty gene in him, and then all of a sudden is awesome 4 years later than everybody else. And so the point being is like life kind of works itself out. It's not that either way is inherently unfair. And those differences in the game or the size of the kids, whatever, you can't eliminate that. That's always going to be there, right? Unless we just say you can't play. This is the 5'5" league, and this is the 5'8" league, and you can't do that, right?
That's right.
So
Yeah. So that was the one thing I wanted to make sure that
yeah, for sure.
that people,
Great point.
because people will comment, it's like, but it's not safe, and like I understand the concern. Trust me, I do.
Mhm.
I do. But there's ways around that, and it is what it is. And I think if you play a game like, and I could be wrong about this, but I think if you're in boxing, weight matters and age matters. I think in football, I think that direct contact could be catastrophic, but maybe it's not any
Well,
different than
I've said
hockey.
this.
I don't know.
I've said
Maybe
this
it's okay,
before.
maybe it's here anyways in the brain.
Yeah, because I've said this before too. It's like when you're signing up for any sport that has any physicality to it, like there's just inherent risk to that, right? So it's like, okay, you want to have no risk to anything? It's like, don't ever ride your bike then. Don't ever get in a car. Don't, you know? So it's like there's certain risk associated. You're signing up. So no matter what you do in your life, you're going to be deciding how much risk you're willing to tolerate. But there's always risk to a certain degree, right? So whether it's unsafe or not, it's like, yeah, but you're kind of signing up for that by playing the sport. So play a different one if you don't want that particular risk to have to deal with it,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. So anyways, not good or bad.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, there's good and bad to both.
Right.
So